Hey everyone, it's me Ari Dawes.com Rashid. I'm your anthropologist and sociologist. Hit the like button, share this video, subscribe to the channel, become a member of the channel, and don't forget, donate the links below. Thank you very much. Oh, don't forget, check my novels on Amazon. Quick video. People have to want to be saved. People have to want to be better. People should want to be healed. And why am I repeating this? Because I've addressed this before. You have this thing in the world called political correctness. What it really comes down to is that you don't mention things that are kind of hypersensitive to the community, and by not mentioning them, you won't trigger conflict. That's the whole idea behind political correctness. So there is a topic that's controversial because it involves neglect and violence by the public, but because nobody wants to be called out for the violence, nobody touched the topic. Or when they touch the topic, they use sugarcoating terms to address it. They don't actually call it for what it is. Now, some people say, well, political correctness is something from the left, the liberals, the Democrats. They lump it all together. But let me tell you, political correctness is nothing new. Conservatives were doing this long before the liberals. But conservatives who don't call it political correctness, politicals just stay silent. They don't come with different terms or softening words for it. They just don't address it. Conservatives have the mentality, if it's not broken, don't fix it. If it works, why be open for something new? That's why it's conservatism. You are conserving old methods that are working. But here's the problem with conservatism. Often they don't check where those methods are worth it. Slavery worked. Wife beating worked. Beating children worked. Torturing people worked. But all these violent, dehumanizing methods also had many side effects we won't talk about. In a society where high performance is required from the public, people are under a lot of stress to perform, to please the public. But all this stress for a public performance will take a toll on their mental health. But you don't want the public to be filled with people losing their mind. All these flies over here. So, you allow people to have an outlet. And what was the outlet before the 1950s, going all the way back in the 19th century, 18th century and before? Child abuse. Child abuse was something that was tolerated. It wasn't approved, but it was tolerated with excuses so that people had an outlet for their aggression. Because the idea was, if they can't offload on their own children, or if the families can't scapegoat on children, they will do it to someone else out there. So it's better to keep it all behind closed doors. That's the mentality of conservatism. What happens inside the house stays inside the house. Don't hang out the dirty laundry. In other words, don't address what's wrong, and especially don't address how defective and dysfunctional we are, because we don't want to face it, we don't want to hear it. Just, this is the way we relieve ourselves. You can't handle it, it's your fault. Liberals, and those more at the left, they don't have a solution, and they know that fully calling it out will trigger unrest, so they will kind of sugarcoat it. So if you have a grown man that is psychologically unstable, they may call him, he's just a bit eccentric, or he's this and that. They may give him special titles. And by giving him the special titles, the individual who's damaged doesn't feel damaged. Now, they are damaged, but they don't feel that they're damaged. I'm not saying everyone out there that's eccentric is damaged. I'm just saying the term eccentric can be used to cover up someone that's damaged. So the damaged individual doesn't have to face the fact how damaged they are, because the moment they face how damaged they are, they want some answers from the public. And once you confront the public, and the public acts narcissistic, now you have a scandal. And nobody wants to be part of a scandal. So in political correctness, you sugarcoat the topic either with distractions or with, euphemisms. So, yeah, political correctness does not solve anything. It can't solve anything. At the end of the day, both conservatives and liberals, worldlings in general, want to escape. They all want to hide things. Conservatives want to fully suppress and repress knowledge of some damage that goes on. That's the damage control they do. And liberals and Democrats, on the other hand, they know they have to admit something's wrong, but they don't want to acknowledge what's wrong to the full, so they sugarcoat it. In both cases, one thing is going on: denial. So, if there's denial going on, it means that people are not willing to own up to the reality of the situation, and they're not ready to be healed and recover. How will things ever get better if people are not willing to admit something's wrong and needs to be fixed or needs to be dealt with? Look, if your leg is broken, you can't say, man, your leg is broken. That's obvious your leg is broken. We don't say, listen, you need medical care. By mentioning someone they need medical care, you're already implying that something is amiss. You don't have to specifically say that the leg is broken, but you can say you need medical care, which is true, it's factual. In any case, you still acknowledge something has to be done because there's a bad situation needs to be dealt with. But what if someone's leg is broken and everyone acts like, oh, his leg's not broken, he's just acting like the way to get attention, which is horrible because everyone can see that they can't walk properly. Or let's say now someone's leg is broken and people say, well, he's a bit artistic. He just likes to walk around a little bit in a weird way. People think, what? Well, you know what I just did? I expressed the conservative way of denial, which is acting like nothing goes on and come with an accusation. And the more liberal way is to sugarcoat it. In both cases, what happened? There's denial. The leg is broken. It needs to be dealt with in a proper way, or else an individual has far bigger problems. So, political correctness does bring calm. Political correctness does de-escalate tensions, but only for a while. I'm not saying that if there's sense of thought, we just have to blur it out without any consideration how it affects other people. No. On the other hand, to keep sugarcoating and keep sugarcoating things and burying things just so everyone's at ease, that's narcissistic, and that's going to lead to bigger explosion in the future. So, okay, someone's leg is broken. Instead of keep pointing that the leg is broken, they already know about it, highlight to them need medical care. And if they act like you know what you're talking about, you say, okay, you need medical care, because you know you don't walk properly, don't you? But that's how we need to do it as believers. Always address things directly is not the best way. Sometimes you have to. But when you address a thing indirectly, you're already implying that something needs to be done. And now when people show the interest that they should, now you go into detail what needs to be done. If people are not willing to admit something is amiss, if people are not willing to be saved, not willing to be rescued, do not cast your pearls before swine. Don't do it. Because if you say, oh, your leg is broken, and you have no solution and nothing that can offer help, rightfully so people can say that you only got to trouble by mentioning problems or solutions, which is true. But if you say there needs to be medical care, you already mentioned solution, medical care, and now you can work with people on the solution, medical care. Now, you may not be medically qualified, but you can refer them to people who are, but anyone can see that medical care is needed if someone's leg is broken. You mention that, people agree with you, now something can be done. So what I'm teaching you is that mention indirectly what needs to be done to address the situation. I'm not telling you to go out there with opinion that you haven't examined and just throw it everywhere. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm saying if you see a bad situation, highlight that something needs to be done about the situation. Highlight it. And if people respond to it properly with the interest to shoot, now you can collaborate with them how to work it out. Just go out there and slam people with facts is not the way to do it, like conspiracy theorists do. And often they're wrong in their conspiracies also. Now, this video has been longer than I anticipated. Anyway, people have to want to be safe. You cannot get ahead with people who are not willing to admit something needs to happen for the better. With people, let me explain this. There's a difference between admitting and acknowledging. You can admit someone's leg is broken, but acknowledging means, okay, if the leg is broken, means they have difficulty going to the shower, doing groceries, difficulty moving daily life. So acknowledging the leg is broken means you realize all the ramifications and consequences come with it. Okay. Fact, someone is blind. Okay. Acknowledging, that's admit someone is blind. Acknowledge someone is blind is realize, okay, they're blind means they can't function well in daily life. That means they need extra care. So what can we community do about it? Okay. For example, the gas is leaking. That's admitted, it's a fact. Acknowledging would be, oh my gosh, the gas is leaking. Guys, this is dangerous. This can lead to a gas explosion. Whoa, we all need to get out. So admitting something is just surrendering to the reality of a situation because the fact is the fact. That's admitting. Acknowledging means, okay, this is what goes on. That implies these are the consequences. These are the facts. We have an obligation here. A lot of people may admit something's amiss, but doesn't mean they acknowledge something's amiss. So if they are not acknowledging something's amiss, and you suggest that a solution, they're going to think that you are trying to blackmail them or manipulate them, or you try to con them, whatever. They're going to see you as a bad guy. Why? Because you're not willing to acknowledge it. So, you cannot get ahead with people who are not acknowledging that things need to be better. They can admit that something's amiss, something's wrong, but doesn't automatically mean they acknowledge, okay, something's wrong, what do we do about it? So don't cause thrills for swine. First check whether people are just admitting things or whether they're also acknowledging things. You can admit things without acknowledging them, but you can acknowledge something without admitting it. So don't just be happy and dance until people admit things. Narcissists can admit when they're wrong, but that also means they acknowledge that they are wrong, which also implies that they have to improve and be better towards other people and themselves. Well, that's it for now. Keep on creating with Christ. I'll make some more videos once in a while, live streams. I'll do that from time to time also. Just keep creating with Christ. Check my notes on Amazon. Donate in the links below. And I'll see you next time. Shalom.